Alright, YouTubers, I'm going to take you through how I make my alcohol stoves. I have made about 15-20 different kinds of them. I've made penny stoves, which I don't have here. I give my stoves out just as fast as I make them. Made penny stoves, monster drink stoves, you name it. I've made them. The double-walled pressure building stove works best, easiest, most durable. And you can make them out of a beer can or pop can, which you see a lot of on YouTube. I don't recommend it. I've made a lot of them out of it. I know, it makes your stove a $2, a penny 10-cent stove. Well, see how wrinkled and dinged up that is? Well, I can't promise my new one won't be like that too, because I'm not very good at not banging them up. But and when you make one, you'll understand why. It's just, the thing of it is the aluminum on these are so thin that it heats the alcohol up quicker, but they don't prime any faster than the thicker aluminum ones. They just I just don't really like them. If you make both, you'll see the difference. And I'm going to show you how to make these Coors Light bottle cans is what I use. You can cut the tops out and turn them inside out and do it that way. It doesn't work any better. It's just a whole lot harder to make. So I'm going to show you. That's what this is here. This is just a regular. All three of these are just regular beer cans. And you hear they're so small it's hard to, they're making a chintzy sound, where these are much thicker. Actually, the inside walls of this is from the Coors Light can. It's much thicker. Let's see how flimsy this is versus this. It's much thicker. Makes a much better inside wall. Anyways, let me get started on this. It don't really matter what height you make. This one works just as good as this one. I actually, in my bug out bag, I have these two. It goes just like that, and I get rubber bands over them with my thing of alcohol. And I keep two because you just don't know. And I got to make sure I get my coffee in the morning. So you're going to need two of these cans. And when you buy them, make sure that they ain't all dinged up. See, this one here I bought, because these are like $2. So it's going to be a $4 stove. See, this one's dented up, so I'm not going to use it. But I still need it, and you'll see why. You can do this with 2 cans, but it's nice to have 3. You'll see why. Alright, you're going to need something. Some people use razor blades. They, what was the other thing I used? They usually take a razor blade and then go like this and scar it. You'll see a lot of that. I don't really understand that. It's much easier to just take a marker. I do mine 2 different heights. A low end and a high. First of all, I better go through and make sure you know everything you're going to need. You're going to need a marker, something to get your height, a ruler, which all I have is this, but it has a ruler mark on it. A pair of scissors, preferably skinny ones, not fat ones. That way you don't tink the metal all up when you get in there and cut it. Big scissors, you're going to mess the metal all up. A file, piece of sandpaper if you want it to look all nice and shiny, and some insulation. Not necessary. Matter of fact, that's a 50-50 on the insulation. You'll roll it up in little tube shaped things and stick it on on the bottom of here to wick it up. Don't ever put insulation in the small ones because they'll plug the holes up. Maybe I'll get in later why I don't really like the insulation in there, but anyways, let's get started. So you're going to want two different heights. It really don't matter which height. One a little bit higher than the other. And then you're going to need to cut a center strip for the inside wall, which will look like this. Okay, and you'll want to use the center of one of these cans for that. One of the reasons you don't really want to ding up that can edge is so that you can use that as a measurement off of there. I'm going to go ahead. You can take this paint off first or last. I recommend doing it last. And oil is really nice to have to get it to slide in there so you don't split the aluminum. Using the thick cans, it really fixes that problem of splitting the cans as well, by the way. A lot of people I see on YouTube ask, how do I get the cans quit splitting? Quit using beer cans. Use these thick aluminum ones. Or you can use the Bud Light aluminum bottles. They're a lot thicker. Alright, so you make your two marks with your marker. Go through, mark one, then I just took one of my little height things off, and I made my second one. As so. Alright. Now, after you get that done, try to get a sharp razor blade. I don't have one, but I want to use this. Start following along the line. I don't recommend cutting all the way around the can with this because you get these messed up edges versus a skinny pair of scissors won't do that as bad. Shouldn't anyway. Once you get it going. Alright, there you go. Another one. This don't cut as easy as the 12-ounce beer cans. Alright, I try to get this edge as nice as possible. Didn't do a very good job, so I'm going to have to trim some off of that. These dents really don't mean too much. A lot of times you'll see on YouTube, one goes inside of the other one. A lot of times people make the top with the hole goes inside. I don't recommend that because then the fluid, see, I got one like that somewhere. The fluid, the first couple times you use it, will come out that hole, or out that crack. But after you use it a few times, it'll seal up. Alright, so I want to flare, seeing that my big can is going to go over my little can, this is the one I'm going to want to flare out. But before I do that, you got to cut this out. Take yourself a sharp razor blade and cut right around this edge. I already did it. I just want to show you that's how you do it. Cut around there. Then you go from one side and get right on that line. These thick cans, it's not as easy as the little ones. Woo! And you do the other side. Try not to bend your can up too much, daggone it. You actually should do this when it's all put together. I forgot. Alright. After all 4 of them, we got a little pie shaped. You just push them in. I want to rip that one. Oh well. And then push them back out. I know some people say really watch out for how sharp the aluminum is. Whatever. I haven't been cut yet. This one is going to be a problem. And I kind of messed up. I tore right there. Ain't too bad. I wish I had pliers here. I don't. Just needed to push it out a little bit because my inner wall is going to go in there like so. So I can't have that messing that up. Alright, later on you'll file. Now this is pretty sharp. You can do it now. You can do it later. Use a half beveled file. Just knock that sharp edge off there. You can use sandpaper, to be honest with you. Just these thick cans, it's a lot easier. Alright, now your big end is going to go over top of your other one. So this is where you need this can to bevel it. I'm trying to stretch it out as much as possible. Alright, it is nice to use oil. Put oil on this to, I didn't bring any though. This is a little flared out, which isn't going to help my cause. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it down a little bit. This is the inside piece. And this height really isn't very important. Alright, now we're going to make our inside wall, which is the height of this tall one plus a 1/4 inch. Alright. Both of these are kind of foobarred. I'm going to try to get a, because you want nice smooth edges on these. Just when you do this, make sure your little coil of aluminum that you're cutting off is pretty equal all the way around. Know what I mean? That way you know that you got a pretty level end here, which I don't. I'm just eyeing it. I made a lot of these. I don't get really precise. I'm being a lot more precise since I'm doing it for you guys. Alright, so you want to take a measuring and a marker. Measure this. Then go a 1/4 inch on top of that. So this is 1 3/4 inches, so I can go 2 inches. Alright. So we'll go ahead and cut the can up. I'm going to cut over my mark. That way, I can straight edge it, which my ruler is not long enough, so I'm just going to have to guess it. Go ahead, cut along that line. Like so. Roll it up in there on the bottom one. Make sure it goes perfectly around that ring. Like that. Alright. And while you got it in the can, you don't see any gaps around that bottom. Take your marker. See, here's the end of it. Here's this end. I'm gonna leave like 1 inch tab from the inside. That will tell me where to cut my outside. Okay? You want to know what I'm talking about? I put the mark on the inside and the outside. Outside's really all I need to worry about. Now I should have 1 inch overlay on the aluminum. Okay. Put it together again, just like you did. Now on that 1 inch aluminum, find dead center of that, not to be precise, put a dot on both sides. Alright? Which I think I could have done a little better on. Jeez, this thick aluminum is a lot harder to mess with. Alright. I want to make sure. Alright. Cut a half a cut. Halfway down the tin. Then on your other mark. Which one was it that time? Then on this mark, go from the bottom half, just eye it, go halfway up. Try not to go too much. It's better to just go come back and fix it if it's. And it should just overlay in one each other. See what I mean? I didn't cut it enough. It's best to do it that way. Come back and do it again. Now one guy on YouTube, he just staples his. You can do that. Looks better this way. Probably seals better too. There you go. So you got your inside wall. This lip will keep that like that. Alright. I'm going to stretch this again. This one again. Some people say heat them up. Heat one up, stick the other one in the freezer for an hour. I tried that, didn't work for me. You try it. You can't over prepare for this next step. That is making two size cans fit into each other. And here we go. This is your shim, by the way. This is the piece you cut off on the for your inside wall. You need a shim. It's a must. Try to get the can. Don't let the can go in so far. You want it just over the edge. All right. Get it to where it's just one little piece, 1 inch. Oops. Take a shim. And watch that little bump run around. Fight you every inch of the way. Try to get like that. Alright. And then force it in. We'll go in. Ta-da! Sometimes that's easy, sometimes it takes an hour. Alright. Push it into where it pushes, starts touching your wall, because you got to finagle your wall. Looks like it's all the way around. You can move that around loosely. You can push a little further. All right, there you go. There's your stove. All you got to do is one thing left. Shoot. You know what I forgot? I forgot to put my notches in the inside of that wall. Awesome. You need to put three or four notches all the way around. over this little ledge there. So that's about fine. I don't know what the measurement of that is. A little over 1/16 inch. Alright. I don't pull those off. I leave those sticking out. I'm going to go ahead and put insulation in. I'm going to show you that's why I leave these tabs up. So you can use cotton, but it's not exactly going to last as long. Make sure it's tucked all the way down there. It's going to swell, so you don't want it to plug your holes. So there you go. You got enough room for one little piece. Just like that. You push it in. Then retrieve your shim. Sorry about that. That's just the way I roll. I forget things. There you go. All I gotta do, grab a thumbtack. Best way I've done this. And check, see if that spins. If it spins real loosely, then you can push it down a little further. There you go. But you don't want it bowing it, which it's starting to do. You don't want it to bow the inside wall. There you go. Then you just make one hole on one side, about 1/4 inch down. It's completely up to you. I want to go as high as possible, though. I do know that. I used to put them up here on this ledge. I don't recommend it. It's too close to the steel. You don't want to go in and stab your inside wall, so try to only go about that far. So you put one hole there. Draw an imaginary line. Put another one. Then 1/4 it. I put my thumb there so I don't stab the inside wall. You can only barely stab it, but alright. You got your 4 holes. And you just 1/4 that, 1/4 that. You can go about 16. I've done 4, I've done 8. I really don't see, there ain't like a massive science to this. It's just, it really isn't. You can go through and put one in between every one of them. There you go, there's your stove, it's done. You can go back later, sand it all, file the inside. If you get like a little lip right there, you can file that. I do recommend folding it over if anything. And sandpaper will do a lot to it too. That little edge. That's it. It's really done. Like I said, you can go through and put 16 holes in. You can do how many holes you. I don't go over 16 holes. There's your can. Oh, the other thing is this thing. A lot of times, so how this works is put the fluid in there and it'll start boiling. When it boils, starts making a gas. The gas rises, starts burning out these holes. Well, if you plug this, if you leave this open, it's going to burn, it's going to get really hot, and it's going to burn the alcohol twice as fast. So you always want to put a cap over it, which, by the way, I recommend using the top of a beer can if you're not cooking something and it fits right over the top.